Will we lose our language if we live abroad? We live and make families abroad, and we are worried about our children's adaptation to the new situation. But what about us? Even though it was our decision to move, that does not mean that this change has no impact on us as parents. A very common issue parents face is the loss of their home language. Let's take a look at what language loss is and how we can prevent it. Language loss is often used as a general term of all processes of decline of linguistic skills, especially in a group when people use less one of their known languages due to environmental circumstances and not due to medical conditions like aphasia. The impact of language loss varies. Firstly, there are significant cultural and social consequences. The disappearance of unique ways of thinking, communicating, and understanding is likely. Furthermore, loss of important historical and cultural knowledge and loss of traditional practices and values might occur. Many people might wonder if this is a complete loss, and the answer is no. Even if we stop using a language and think of it as forgotten, it is easy to reactivate it. The language is still in our memory, and we do not need the same time or effort to reactivate it as the effort of learning an additional language. Now focusing on parents, sometimes they choose to suppress their first language for several reasons. It might occur as a response to personal or community trauma, like parental divorce during childhood or war. For instance, after World War II, Germans who moved out of Germany and moved to other countries stopped using German due to stigma. Another reason could be the will to integrate better and faster into the new community, and the exclusion fear. There is a linguistic stereotyping hypothesis which refers to the fact that when people hear accents that might be associated with a lower prestige group can activate a host of associations, like they are not fluent speakers, etc. Furthermore, parents' lack of knowledge about teaching strategies or lack of clear decision about language use make them use inappropriate techniques when trying to teach multiple languages to their children. Lastly, the number of family members may influence parental choice of the language to transmit. Having only one child is more likely to use two or more languages because parents have more time. Lack of time due to many children within the family or other factors can make parents decide to use only one language at home. In that way, parents can face language suppression. Regardless of the reason, we need to keep in mind that this is something that is possible to occur and it is completely normal. Hopefully, there are ways for parents to prevent this suppression or even to reintroduce a language in their lives. When we observe that we use our languages less and less or struggle with finding words in our first language, we can avoid further attrition by increasing our daily and weekly exposure and use of the language. So, when living abroad, we can try to create opportunities to use our language as frequently as possible. Also, when being alone, we can comment on what we do, sing along songs, repeat what we hear on the radio, etc. This will help us keep up with the current language use. We can also FaceTime with people who speak the language or follow a YouTube channel about a topic we're interested in the target language. We could give to ourselves 10 minutes per day or half an hour per week to read something or watch a movie or listen to an audiobook in our first language to reintroduce it in a smooth and enjoyable way. Lastly, we can organize lunch cafes to use the language with other adults and talk about several topics. Creativity is what we need. Just keep in mind that there is always a way to reactivate our language.